जय जय राम। ओम श्री राम जय राम, 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 जय जय राम।
ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। 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 ओम श्री राम जय जय राम। श्री राम जय जय राम। Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram O Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram 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 Om
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram Om. 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 Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama Om Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om to everybody. Like yesterday, we will also try to begin with an email that has been received yesterday evening. The devotee writes, I just finished viewing the Satsang from Tuesday and wanted to share something I have been trying to do in order to link the anecdotes from IQG, In Quest of God, to my own experiences. Initially, in the first months of Sankalpa, I would read a chapter. You can sit here. Initially, in the first few months of this Sankalpa, I would read a chapter, then think about what Papa did and tell myself, now that is what I need to do when I am in a similar situation. I am now taking a different approach, kind of a reverse of what I was doing before. Now, when I find myself grumbling about a situation, upset by something someone did or said, or simply worried or anxious, I try to recall an anecdote from In Quest of God that links to what I am experiencing at that particular moment. God is now revealing to us through this devotee what is the real purpose of this in-depth study of In Quest of God. No? Just think. When I find myself grumbling about a situation, upset by something someone did or said, or simply worried or anxious, I try to recall an anecdote from In Quest of God that links to what I am experiencing at that particular moment. When I can explicitly connect my experience immediately with how Papa handled a similar situation or condition, I am able to apply the teaching in the anecdote to my life in a more direct and substantial way. So this clue is given to us now. When we are confronted to go through certain experiences, trying experiences, very tense situations, here God comes to our aid by reminding us of how Papa had dealt with it. Sri Krishna ji, no? You can come here, no? Sri Krishna ji, come. बैठिए बैठिए. A very, very important clue to all of us. Again, we will read it out. When I find myself grumbling about a situation, upset by something someone did or said, or simply worried or anxious, I try to recall an anecdote from In Quest of God that links to what I am experiencing at that particular moment. When I can explicitly connect my experience immediately with how Papa handled a similar situation or condition, I am able to apply the teaching in the anecdote to my life in a more direct and substantial way. So before reacting to the things and events in my life, I now first try to reflect on what Papa actually did or experienced in Quest of God. The life manual, no? We have been telling this life manual, no? Now it is corroborated by Papa through his devotees. So before reacting to the things and events in my life, I now try first to reflect on what Papa actually did or experienced in Quest of God, the life manual. I find this exercise or technique to almost be helpful in remembering God during my non-sadhana parts of the day. Thank you for inviting us to share. I find the questions and sharing of other devotees and your responses to be most beneficial. Pranams. So, clues, this is why we have been prompted to request all of you to bring out your own approach, your own understanding, the revelations he has given to you, so that it will be useful for others also. And the session will become lively. And through this we get a clue now. We can try, we may not be able to succeed as he succeeded, but one among us could succeed, The real purpose of this whole in-depth study of In Quest of God from December 27, 2021 till this moment, we have been going through the same again and again and again and again and trying to dig out what is lying there dormant, unearthed, unknown, unrevealed. And the mind is full with that when we are on that. The effect of which is that when we are confronted with, or when God makes us to go through such similar experiences, indirectly he prompts us to take it from our baggage, and try now, as if he is telling us. And for all that we need time. That's why he said before reacting. This is a great bonus for all of us. We were remembering the words of Gurudev Swami Shivanji Maharaj, We were told in the early days of Shivanandashram, or even prior to setting up of Shivanandashram, Swamiji not only reveled in that ecstatic experience, but also started writing. On those days, nothing was available. So on the blank space of a postcard written by somebody, or if somebody has sent it through an inland or what you call cover, he opens it on the other side with pencil. He starts writing it down on various subjects. And then somebody happens to go through that, and when they read, they get thrilled. So the official manuscript is done, read out to him, and then on those days to get it printed was a Himalayan journey. But somehow it gets printed. So like that, books were piling up. So somebody went and asked him, who is going to read this? Why are you struggling so much? Then smilingly, cheerfully, he said, if one person gets the benefit of it, the whole purpose is served. Similarly, today we feel here not one person, so many are sharing their thing. So even if the microscopic minority derives the benefit from the entire efforts motivated by him, we feel fulfilled. Anybody would like to say anything about the contents of this email?
Swamiji, the past also we have been experiencing such type of intervention by God, and we used to practice, but we are unable to tell it because of so many other factors.
Very good. Now it is opening up, slowly. We are trying to realize the real purpose of going through this inquest of God again and again and again, Not for academic knowledge, not for memorizing it, not for reproducing it, but only to...
When we explain it, because an individualistic attitude comes there, so we are unable to express it that way only. We do something, individualistic attitude is there when we explain it.
When we explain it, the individualistic attitude comes. That's why we are not explaining that.
You can put it in email, no? Because when you are typing out the email or drafting out a letter, the witness conscious, the presence of witness conscious also can be felt. How he is prompting us to bring out these words beautifully. Not only for one's own sake, for the sake of others. Yes, anything else? Sharing is very important. You remember that story Papa used to mention? When an old sadhu, old man, they were all, the entire society was passing through famine. They were finding it extremely difficult to make both ends meet and have the basic food. And he had 2 children and wife at home. So he started he went out for alms. Somehow he got a handful of rice or something like that. That was cooked. They were about to eat. Somebody from their door looked and said, I have not eaten for the past so many days. Can you please share something? So the father thought, his share, So 1/4 of the share, that is his share, he offered. Seeing this, the wife thought, when he is sharing, why should I not share? She also shared. Seeing this, the children thought, if they have shared, how can we? They also shared there. Ultimately, they all passed away, but they were born in a higher realm. This is how the story goes, The value of sharing, Value of sharing to the needy. So like that, we should share, Sharing always gives a sense of fulfillment. The other one, we hear, we see, that's all. It doesn't get registered. Before you share, some manana should take place, then only you can share. Because it is an in-depth study, It is not a discourse hearing. It is not a program. But it is an in-depth study. That is how God, Bappa named it, this 1 year. Study means we apply our mind on it intensely. Yes, anything else?
I got one doubt, Swami. Shall I ask Swami? While this prayer we were discussing last time, so this Kuchela, when he met Krishna, all the wishes of his wife got fulfilled without any prayer. How will that happen, Swami?
Kuchela didn't ask for anything. Kuchela didn't ask anything, but everything came. How is it?
Kuchela did not ask anything.
No prayer he made.
He did not make any prayer.
He did not make any prayer.
But his wishes all fulfilled his wife.
His wife's wishes were fulfilled without
What
praying.
type of prayer was that? Any bhakti or can you explain to us so that we can also emulate that, Swami?
You and I don't feel that he has not prayed. He has not prayed, accepted. But his wife prayed, That is why she sent that beaten rice. And that the Lord can understand all these things. It was that beaten rice, he was also, pining, craving. The whole thing took place only after he took a mouthful of that beaten rice. So what does it mean? The beaten rice has conveyed the prayer to him, touched him, made him to accede to their request, comply with their prayer. With whose prayer? His family's prayer. He did not. He was full. He has been full. So prayer does, a sincere prayer.
Not without worship, we say.
No. He did not pray because he was sure that when he is the all-pervading reality, Almighty Lord of the universe, does he not know what is needed by us? That level he has reached. That means we don't have to even ask him. If at all we ask him, we should only ask him the highest. Not these petty baubles of the world. He was very clear about it. Though outwardly he became a grihastha, inside the Gurukula teaching, along with Lord Krishna, his company with Lord Krishna, that had its own samskara, that had its own effect, impact on his life. The result of which he had resigned everything to God. So it becomes the onus of the Lord to take care of his mundane requirement also. Now coming back to IQG. Anything else? Yesterday and many a times before, we have shared this sloka of Vivekachoodamani, but for the sake of those who are listening for the first time, we are repeating it again. Today some more people have come here. During the Sannyas centenary year of beloved Papa, a year-long in-depth study was undertaken on In Quest of God from last year 2021 to 2022. This journey revealed to sadhakas and devotees that inward journey with right perception coupled with earnest endeavor alone can lead them to the ultimate realization of his presence in the form of peace and serenity, and certainly not by merely knowing and talking about it. This in-depth study has revealed that inward journey with right perception coupled with earnest endeavor alone can lead to ultimate realization of his presence in the form of peace and serenity, and certainly not by merely knowing and talking about it. The above theme is beautifully brought out by Adi Shankara in his classic work Vivekachoodamani, which is undoubtedly a masterpiece of Advaita philosophy and perhaps his most famous non-commentarial work that expounds Vedanta in all its glory and grandeur. The 65th shloka is a spiritual gem that sheds light on the path of every aspirant. Aptoktim khananam tatho parishila tukkarshashanam swikriti nikshepa samkshepate nahibahi shabdaistu nirgacchati tadvad brahma vidopadesha manana dhyanadivir labhyate maya karya tirohitam swamamalam tattvam na duryuktivihi. Meaning is, as a treasure hidden underground requires for its extraction competent instruction, excavation, removal of stones of such other things lying above it, and finally grasping, but never comes out by being merely called out by name. So the transparent truth of the self, which is hidden by Maya and its effects, is to be attained through the instruction of a knower of Brahman, followed by reflection, meditation, and so forth, and not through perverted arguments. All sadhakas are in quest of God. To move forward in the spiritual journey, an expert guidance is of an illumined soul who has traveled before on this path is necessary in order to avoid going astray. In our case, beloved Papa is our guide and master. Afterwards, one has to rigorously follow beloved Papa's instructions on a sustaining manner. To better understand the purport of this sloka, Puja Swami Chinmayanandaji used to narrate a story of two families who were living in the same neighborhood. They were close to each other, distance-wise as well as emotionally. They used to join in each other's celebration at both houses. Children of one house would often go and play in the other house. In fact, there was no sense of otherness among them. One day, unexpectedly, the head of a family passed away. The other family members rushed to help them during their grief-stricken moments. They tried to console the wife and children, assisted them in carrying out the last rites and all the rituals thereafter. On the 13th day, as the rituals got over, the eldest in the grieving family approached the head of the other family. Uncle, we were looking for the savings our father has made over the years, but couldn't find any. We are worried about how we are going to survive from now onwards. Uncle replied, oh, don't worry. Your dad has worked hard, made a good savings for your family, but there is a condition. You have to make an effort to get it and not to be satisfied by mere calling the treasure to come out. Go to the room in the right side of your house. There you would find among the floor tiles one rather loose tile unattached to the floor. Wait till it's at midnight and the whole neighborhood is asleep. Gather all necessary tools for excavation. Go to the room, remove the loose tile, start digging down. There will be plenty of debris. Don't throw them around. Keep them on a side. Make sure that there is no publicity for this whole exercise. It must take few things to finish digging. Never get dejected or dispirited. Have hope in your Father. As you keep digging, one day you will hear the sound of your digging tool hitting on a metallic thing. It would be a copper vessel. Don't damage it. Lift it up, remove the cover on the top. Inside you will find the treasure your father had saved. This will be enough to take care few generations of you. Believing in his instructions, they went back to their house, did exactly how they were instructed, perseveringly, without fail, and they found the treasure at the end of a long and hard search. This story is a fictionalized vision of our lives. If you reflect on it, you will find 5 phases. Number 1, struggle. In this story, the family that loses their head is facing a serious setback in their life. Life is full of ups and downs, pleasure and pain, success and failure. Expectation is one thing, reality is another thing. Nobody's life is a bed of roses from the beginning to the end. In the first phase, a person becomes a seeker as he realizes that nothing is eternal in his life and everything that he was holding dear is ephemeral. Quest, the second one. In this story, when the grieving family realizes that they are in deep trouble and utterly helpless, they go to the person whom they deeply trust and whose wisdom they unconditionally believe in. When a seeker realizes that he needs guidance on the direction of his spiritual journey, by divine providence, a guru in person or impersonal is at hand to direct him towards this ultimate goal. Number 3, faith. In this story, the grieving family has full faith in their advisor and faithfully follow his instructions. In life, finding one guru is only a beginning. One has to have unconditional faith in his wisdom and faithfully follow his instruction. Next one, practice. Having received the instructions, the grieving family, without any doubt or trepidation, acts on his words in right earnest. Every aspirant has to keep this in mind. The Guru is a guide to the destination. He is not the destination itself. Having found the Guru is not enough. One has to practice his precepts unfailingly. Perseverance, patience, silent hard work are absolutely necessary. And finally, self-discovery. If we decide to follow our Guru's message, we will have to dig deep into our inner resources. As we go deeper, we will find that the divine treasure we are searching for is within us. So this is how, through a story, a sublime principle, no? So in quest of God is the instructions he has given to us. Virat Papa is our guide. We are going and telling him we are also in quest of God. Show us where is God. He says, okay, look here. Then through in quest of God, he is giving us the instructions as to how we should do. Suppose we just hear and go, what happens? What happens? Nobody answers.
Zero Swami.
Huh? If we just go and hear, what happens?
Nothing Swami.
Nothing.
Zero.
Nothing happens.
Nothing happens, correct. Ah.
The next one is some.
We originally, we felt we are in search of God. Until we find it, we should not leave, you know. From 1920 to 1922, what did he do? That is placed before us. You remember his words? Who remembers? Suddenly, why it became, come here, enlarge it, enlarge this.
Minimized. View. Screen.
Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, had attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. Even before 27th December 1922, Ramdas, through a ceaseless repetition of the divine mantra, side by side with the concentrated meditation on the all-pervading, eternal, ever-blissful, indwelling God, had attained freedom and peace even before his advent into the world as a mendicant. So this is what, when we go through the inquest of God, this should be very clear to us. He had prepared himself. God, it's not right. God made him to prepare himself. That is why each and every anecdote, each and every word is giving us a push towards this, giving us a clarity towards this, provided we are receptive to the thoughts and we also work it up. As somebody has written today, stitch it with our own experience, integrate it in our own thinking system. Then he assures us now what he has been able to realize, we will also be able to realize. Not by merely knowing, or hearing. Adi Shankara's Vivekachoodamani beautifully brings it out. Transparent truth of the self, which is hidden by Maya and its effect, is to be attained through the instruction of a knower of Brahman, followed by reflection, meditation, and so forth. So this journey revealed to sadhakas and devotees that inward journey with the right perception, coupled with earnest endeavor alone, can lead to the ultimate realization of his presence in the form of peace and serenity, and certainly not by merely knowing and talking about it. So this treasure, this how Pujya Swami Chinmayanandaji, he brought out this sublime truth in the form of a story. In mid-60s we heard, but it is so touching. After a lapse of so many years, it comes again and again and again and again. Everybody may kindly remember this. Aptoktim Khananam. That is enough. Aptavakya. We need Aptavakya. In our case, Papa's words are Aptavakyas. And then Khananam, mining. In our language, in ordinary language, mining. In Vedantic language, it is manana, churning. inward churning. It's a very powerful message, especially when we feel we are all on an in-depth study of In Quest of God. As a treasure hidden behind underground requires for its extraction competent instruction, excavation, removal of stones and other things lying above it, and finally grasping. But never comes out by merely called out by name. Treasure, treasure, treasure. It will not come. So the transparent truth of the self, which is hidden by Maya and its effects, is to be attained through the instruction of a knower of Brahman, followed by reflection, meditation, and so forth, but not through perverted arguments. So kindly remember the story.
Ratnam Vairam Vaiduryam.
Ratnam Vairam Vaiduryam. Treasure.
All sadhakas are in quest of God to move forward on the spiritual journey. An expert guidance of an illumined soul who has travelled before on this path is necessary in order to avoid going astray. In our case, beloved Papa is our guide. He is the master. Afterwards, one has to rigorously follow beloved Papa's instructions on a sustaining manner. Probably now suddenly it strikes to us. That is why after In Quest of God, he wrote the book At the Feet of God. To get this more and more grounded. Because there the dialogue is there, no? The sense of individuality places everything, like what we saw in the cave outpourings. The sense of individuality again and again asks so many questions. And here the Almighty Lord of the Universe is portrayed as the mother, and the mother answers. That is how at the feet of God starts. Later on, so many things have added, but the cream is this: the dialogue. The dialogue means the churning, the kananam, the mining, the going within, inward journey, introverted inquiry. If you go through the various questions and answers in that. So he wants, that is why Puja Mataji say, after successfully completing 11 times of In Quest of God, you must take up at the feet of God. After successfully means not realizing. She said the purpose of going through with all faith and devotion for 11 times will enable you to take to inward journey. You will go within. You will be more and more clear about the impersonal aspect of Papa, God. And after that, Mataji said, you should take up at the feet of God. We were all reading this, but it did not strike to us. One thing is very clear, they are standing before us and guiding us in spite of our so-called indifference, disinterestedness, in spite of lack of intensity. Still, they have not left us. We have not become aware of their guidance, but they have not left us. That is why they are coming to us through their wisdom teachings in so many ways, every day. That itself is an assurance that we are being led by them. Please think about it.
Satsang itself is awakening, sir, Swamiji.
Huh?
Satsang itself for awakening of the heart.
A little more serious. When Puja Swamiji in his parting message in 2003, he said, be a little more serious in your sadhana. None of us understood, how to make it serious. We just read, we always praise him, and then bas. What happens to me? Little more serious. Because Swamiji is so gentle, he will not wound anybody. So when he says a little more serious means he meant we should be absolutely serious. Not this superficial approach. So these are all things coming out again and again during this in-depth study of Inquest of God. Be a little more serious in your sadhana. Time is running out, And so treasure story, Inquest of God, when we remember Inquest of God, in-depth study of Inquest of God, when we remember the sannyas centenary year, when we remember that Papa has made us to go through it, how many times? Umpty number of times. He was motivating us to pick out so many things that were lying in between the lines. Everything is okay. But let us not stop. Until we hit the treasure. Until we hit the treasure, we should not stop. Through a story, how beautifully it is brought out. Authentic, because the stanza is from Vivekachoodamani. But because it is so abstract, it is conveyed to us through a nice story. We remember on that day, Swamiji took only that one sloka, 1.5 hours. Slowly he was building up. Pin drop silence. That is why we remember still today. Aptoktim Kananam. We don't know Sanskrit, we don't know the slokas. But the first line is, the punch is there, He again and again and again and again he repeated. None of you should feel satisfied with what you are doing. It is all calling from the surface and treasure. Go deep, go deep, go deep. So when we took up Inquest of God, he immediately made us to think about it. This is exactly what Papa wanted all of us to do. And in that word he said, for the 2 years, coupled with ceaseless chanting of his, remembering him, coupled with concentrated meditation, contemplation meditation. Highly meditative and reflective was his characteristic. That is why, it just came extempore. Through his pen, he was able to bring out all the subtle, abstract, so easily, How many? We were only reading it as an article of Papa, that's all. It is the outcome, it is the overpouring, it is the revelation of his experience, Inquest of God in that way helped us more to understand him. The real Papa. Not merely the form Papa. the inner content, the treasure he had, and he shared with all of us, not through one or two or three, through various ways he shared. So we are all deeply grateful to him because we are sitting here only because of the transformation on the 27th of December 1922. Had he continued as Vittal Rao, we will not be sitting here. No? So we are deeply grateful to him, number one, for that. Second thing is, because all creature comforts are there now in the ashram, so we should not be satisfied. We should also know how the transformation took place, the transition from an ordinary grihastha, an ordinary professional, an ordinary person who is subjected to the severest storms in life, severest adverse circumstances in life, testing periods in his life. How he was able to lead a peaceful, serene life. So through his works. So not only that he set up an ashram for enabling us to dwell on these, he also gave us not merely a structure, not merely an infrastructure, not merely certain creature comforts in the form of buildings and other things, but also because of the priceless teachings he gave, which came out from his experience in a simple, most understandable language. All these things should well up. That will give a push in our move towards the realization. Every word is, pregnant with these profound ideas. We should not treat it as a simple word, simple expression. Because he himself said, you remember, Ramdas's words can be understood. Everybody has forgotten.
In the light of your own perfected experience.
Everybody has forgotten.
No, Swamiji, not forgotten.
Not forgotten.
This morning I remembered the same words.
What was there? Well, first thing we'll say, through mere, Papa's words, through mere superficial churning of thought, Ramdas's words cannot be understood.
Understood.
You can throw light on them only when you bring with you the blazing torch of your own perfected experience. Experience is gained by diving into the depth of your mind. Mere assertion of the truth is not realization. Realization means direct perception and experience. So these are all his words. We have to go again and again and again and again.
Swamiji, that is why Papa gives us tests so that we better ourselves.
And Papa gives us a test to better ourselves.
Yeah.
So that we gain experience and understand.
Yes.
Better.
Yeah. So every day, today, the message is, we have heard a story, We are all on this process of digging out. So let us not slacken. We are all on the process of Khananam. The treasure is within. We are hopeful, we are confident, we are optimistic that one day we will own it, possess it, enjoy it. But we should not slacken our efforts. We should be more intense. Think about the story and then again, when we take to Ramnam chanting, we are adding one more, no? Every Ramnam chanting, the prayer is mixed with that. Enable me to dig out the treasure you have kept for me. I am 100% confident you have kept it for me. Probably only when me goes, it will become mine. So the treasure is within, the treasure is within. It is, I have to dig it out. I have to remove what is to be removed. Then only it will come. Please enable me to do that. Every Ramnam, or once in a way when we chant Ramnam, we try to bring in this, this dimension. So that the prayer becomes, the prayer becomes more and more intense, intimate, serious. Let it not go on the superficial level. Whatever Ramnam so far we have done, it is going to bear the fruit now, because we are adding one more dimension to it. The treasure is within us, we are 100% clear about it. And you made us to start digging. We were a little bit slow, or our tool was not sufficient enough to take out the debris. Now kindly enable us, kindly guide us, so that we start removing that which is covering the treasure. So let that story get imprinted in our heart, And with these through two words, aptoktim khananam. Those who have got the books, you may kindly go to the 65th sloka of Vivekachoodamani. I think that will do. Anything else? Anything else to be shared?
Treasure in the body, in mind, or in heart, in our body.
Where is the treasure? Is it in the mind? Is it in the heart?
It is beyond. It is the treasure on which the mind, body, everything exists. That is the problem. It is the treasure on which the mind, body, intellect, everything is built. Foundation. We are on the structure now. But this structure stays on the foundation. If we sit here and if we don't understand that there is a foundation, basement, then walls, then flooring, then roof, all those things are there, But it starts from foundation. That is the substratum, that is the support. So the treasure is there as the support. Avalambanam. Nitya Akhanda Ananda Anadi, Purana Brahma Sanatana hai. Jagadashraya Jagat.
Jagapati Jagavandana.
Jagapati Jagavandana Anupama Alaga Niyan. In that it comes next. Avalambana. That is the support, base. Pranasakha. What a beautiful song, Ilya. Now when we think about it and when we connect it to E Jagadada. Somebody can sing?
It is there in the computer.
Somebody can sing? Somebody can sing? E Jagadada Vishwavidada E Sukha Shanti Niketane.
Nityakhanda Ananta Anadi.
Purana Brahma Sana.
I'll open the text.
Text till I play.
Text. Okay. You can play both. Both are there.
You play. We don't want the text.
The treasure, we are trying to understand the treasure through a bhajan. Because when you say treasure, it is abstract again. I got. You got?
There's one in the summer. We just got it.
Got it?
Monthly satsang.
Got it?
Yes, Swamiji. Should I share this also?
No, you play it loudly. 100%.
He Jagadada Dinakabandhu Nitya Akanda. They can see. Purana Brahma Sanatane Purana Brahma Sanatane Jaga Ashraya Jaga Pati Jagavandana Jaga Pati Jagavandana Anupama Alaka Niranjana Ye Jagatata Vishwavidhata Pranasakha उनके अवलंबन है. Sole refuge. जग आश्रय जगपति जगवंदन. अनुपम अलग निरंजन है. ओम श्री राम जय जय राम. 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 हे जगदाता विश्वविधाता ये सुख शांति निकेतन है. See, we made us to remember one word, avalambana. And then again, no. Suppose we hear the treasure story, we hear the abstract story, it might not stay with us. The bhakti aspect also has to come, So today he saw to it that He Jagadata, our prayer. You are the supporter, you are the foundation, you are the base upon which everything is there. Enable me to understand you. Please. I am sitting on the structure. I hardly remember about the foundation of my house. Without foundation, my structure will not be there. I will not be able to use the house. I will not be able to enjoy my stay, but I hardly remember about the foundation. Hari Om. Om. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Om Shri Ram Jai Jai Ram. Hari Om. Namaskaram. Pranam. Hari Om.
प्रणाम स्वामी.
प्रणाम.